Hi, welcome to another Charlene's Vision show. And today I have the Taisha Davis. She actually has a boutique shop. So Taisha, thank you for being on my show.
Thank you. How are you today?
Okay, I'm doing well. And you?
Good. I'm good.
So I would just like to know, like, how did you guys started with this, and what do you have?
So basically, I started Neela's Boutique because of my niece. She passed away in 2011.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
So this is really dear to my heart on why I even started the company.
Okay.
Or whatever. So it's me and my twin sister. We are the owners of Neela's Boutique. And I just wanted to do something to remember her legacy. So that's why I mainly started the company.
Okay, that's pretty good. I'm sorry to hear about your niece in 2011. Wow, sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really good, you know, that you did start something that's definitely going to start a legacy for her. So tell me some of the hiccups that you actually had in the business, like how things that you did that you say, okay, and that you learned from, and that's in any business.
So basically, the main thing that was really hard with some of the stuff is to figure out all the right paperwork and stuff that you have to do. So filing for your business. So I had to research and figure things out a little bit on our own. So what I did was I hired a company and they helped me, show me how to do the business aspect of it. But it's really good. I'm glad that I did it, and it's still going. So we've been open almost a year.
Okay.
Coming next month in August. So that's really amazing for us.
Oh, that's pretty good. And now I noticed that we also have some stuff out here. So, like, even though your niece, right, she passed away. Now, what made you decide to get into clothing? Because you could have did a lot of things. Like, is there any type of connection between the clothing and your niece that, you know, because...
Yes, like a lot of the colorings and stuff that I have on the clothing with the lining, the purple and stuff, that was her favorite color. So we always put some type of purple in the clothing because that was, she always smiled and that was just her favorite color no matter what. So that's why I chose to do the clothing, so we could put purple on anything, purple shirts, purple jeans, hoodies, sweaters, shorts, whatever we can mix it up with, that's what we did.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good. And now we know it's the color purple is her favorite color.
Yes.
So that's pretty good with that. I really do like the colors that you have here. So explain some of the outfits that you do have on the table.
Yeah, so this is a pair of girl biker shorts right here, which is pretty cool. And then we have the jogger sets.
Oh, I like
the crop
jogger
tops,
sets.
which is pretty cool too. We have that here. And then we have the men sets here, the shorts, and then you have the little tank top, and then you have the boys basketball shorts, which is pretty cool. And it has her logo on it, Neela's Boutique. So everything that we do it in a memory of her. So it's really amazing that we can do that just to share her legacy, and it keeps going and going through our family. So that's my main reason why I did it, and I just love it.
Right, and that's pretty good, and that's good that you can do something like that. Now let's just talk a little bit about like the funding, like how did all of this get started? Like, did you have to take out a loan? Because that's the main thing about business that I always talk about before, is that how are you going to fund this business, especially when you're, you know, if you have it or if you don't. So
basically, I didn't have to take out no funds. We did it on our own. I had came into some money, so what I did was I started my first pop-up shop.
Oh, nice.
So I did my pop-up shop like I always was good at selling. So I knew I would be good at anything that I put my mind to, I do it.
Right.
Or whatever. So once I decided I wanted to become a business owner and everything like that, I just put all of our money together and we decided to open up the boutique. And that's how it came about.
Oh, okay, now you actually do this full time, because I always mentioned before, like me, I'm a business owner too, but I really cannot leave my first job to work at my business full time. Is that something that you do right now? You working full time to do this, or you just doing it?
No, I just went cold turkey with just my business. I don't work for anybody, and that's the best thing. You're your own boss, and you got to be very passionate. And you have to have the drive and want to do it. If you you have to love the job and have the passion to do it, because if you don't, you're not going to be good at it. So I believed in myself, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to leave the 9-to-5 and just do my own business, be my own boss. I don't have to depend on anybody. I make my own hours. I don't have to answer to no one, and it's the best decision I ever made.
Oh, that's pretty good. I like that. Now, you also say this is with you and your sister. Now, what about the challenges in the decision making? Now, tell me a little bit about that and how does that actually happen?
Well, me and her, we basically make decisions together. Like if I call her, me and her make all the decisions, you know. It did start off with 4 of us, but unfortunately, it's just me and her now because like some people can't mix business with family,
Right.
you know, but other than that, any decision that we make as far as the business, we go through each other. We won't make no decisions without each other first.
Oh, good. How has that been going? Because I know either me and my business with my daughter, sometimes there's that struggle of decision making. If they want this and you want that, how does that actually happen? Is it something that you always get into arguments for, or you do?
No, we just sit down and have a discussion about it and be like, we have to talk about it to make sure it makes sense. Because if it don't make sense, we're not going to do it.
Right.
So that's my biggest thing that I worry about, is that I don't want to fight with my family. I just want to live on my niece's legacy and go hard and just be very successful at Neela's Boutique. You know, so.
Now, these are the stuff you have there as well. Do you just sell clothing or?
No, we sell other stuff too. We sell accessories, we sell oils.
Right.
So we sell other things in there, which is pretty cool.
Okay. Now, the other question is, like, what about your vision? What is your big vision of this Neela's Boutique?
Actually, I want to open up multiple locations in the future. That's my biggest goal. Like, I want to do, even if it's not just clothes, just her name, the legacy, even if it's a restaurant or other adventures that I want to do.
So you say besides clothing?
Yeah, besides clothing, I want to do a whole bunch of stuff just to keep her legacy alive. Because like I said, I'm a go-getter. Whatever I put my mind to, passion, I make it happen. I said to myself, I'm going to open up the Neela's Boutique in August. When I started it, did the LLC and everything. Then after that, I said in November, I want to get a store. In November, we opened up Neela's Boutique.
Wow.
So I'm very determined. When I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Right. Now, where's your located at?
Where I'm located at?
Yes.
Yes, I'm located at 202 New Britain Road in Berlin, 06037.
Okay, and so I always talk about location. So what do you think about the location? Is that something, because I know I had someone on the show before and it's like, you know, if they had done something differently, the location would be different. And that's the thing as well, because, you know, there's always stores out there that sell clothing, you know that. So we always want to talk about the saturated of the clothing and the competition out there. How do you feel about where your location is at, and how do you feel about your business being in your location?
I picked a good location because it's not where I'm from. My hometown where I'm from, it's in Berlin. So I'm the only clothing store in Berlin. So that's what makes it even better.
Okay.
So that's why I chose to have it in that location. So I really don't have no competition at all, because I'm technically the only boutique in Berlin.
Oh, that is great, because that's what you want. You want something that there's not someone next door to you that actually has the almost similar products.
Yep.
So that's pretty good that you decided to do that. Now, that's something that you actually decided to say, I want it in this location because of that, and you did your research on that?
It's so crazy because me and my sister, we was driving around looking for locations, and it just did not sit well. So we just kept driving around. So I was like, let's go get something to eat. I'm tired of driving. So I happened to go drive to the place next door, the food place, and I'm like, oh, they got a for rent sign. And little did I know, back in the day, I used to work in that store, that same location. I used to work in there, selling cell phones. And I was like, this must be God's will, saying, this is it. This is where you need to open up Neela's Boutique.
That's amazing.
And I knew the owners, and they gave us a chance, and they rented it out to us. So I feel like it was meant to be.
Right. That sounds really good. Now, like how do you generate like new ideas? Because when it comes to fashion and clothing, you know, there's always something in and out. How do you actually decide what you should be selling and not?
I go by the seasons. Okay. So if it's really summer, I go with the summer stuff, like the shorts, the crop tops, the little tank top shirts there, the biker shorts. So that's what I do. It depends on what season it is. I go with. Some people don't like to wear like the hoodies, or some people do like to wear the hoodies in summertime too. So It all depends.
Right, because I know sometimes when I go to the store, they always have something out prior, you know, like, okay, summer's almost over, and they have other things out, and it's like, okay, I want something for the summer. So, you know, you always got to think ahead, too, because sometimes people always like, okay, even in the summertime, they might be going school shopping.
Yeah.
So if you have the summer stuff out, they're not going to need what you want.
And then it do be cold in the grocery store, so sometimes people do want to wear long sleeves still.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So you always want to.
So but that's how I choose what I want to put out. Even though I do still have long sleeve stuff in that time, it's just more summer stuff when it's summer.
Right, okay, that makes sense, yeah. So the entrepreneur life, how does that affect you, your family, you know, how does that affect that?
Actually, it's more flexible. I get to see my kids more.
Are you serious?
I don't have to, because before when I was working, I didn't get home until like 7, 8 o'clock. And my kids will be in bed. And I don't get to see them until the next day. So it's like, now that I'm my own boss, I make my own schedule. I could either go in the shop or I could do online sales.
Nice.
So that's why I chose to really just give it all up and become my own boss, because I don't have to worry about nothing.
Right. So it's actually better for your life, for your family life, because it's more balanced.
Yes.
Right.
Definitely.
So you have that life balance that some people love, and that's why a lot of people are getting.
When you have kids and husband, you got to make that your priority too, in the mix of being an entrepreneur, because it could cause problems. So that's the main reason why I love that I made the decision, and I think that's the best decision that I made.
Okay, that sounds pretty good, because you do have time to still be with your husband and your kids, which makes sense. Now, they actually work in the store with you, or is it something you do?
Sometimes.
Okay.
My husband, he'll sit in there with me sometimes, but he'll be like, I don't want to sit here all day, because that's my dream. Me and my twin sister, that's what we want to do. So, you know, he's very proud of me, but it'd be cool.
Now, you said something about, instead of the clothes, you want to still keep that legacy, that you're thinking about restaurants and anything. Now, is there any type of plans you like write up and see, like, okay, you have like a year, something in stone, like, okay, like you said in this, you said, and by this month, I'm going to have this done. So are you going to have like saying, okay, by this month or this year, I am going to actually expand?
Definitely. I'm definitely going to have that in my mindset when I'm ready to do that. So for sure, definitely I will consider doing that. Just in a couple of years, I'm not going to rush to do it.
Right.
I want to make sure this is very successful first before I just jump into it. But that's a goal that I do have, to open up multiple things in Neela's name.
Okay. So. Now, do you believe there's some type of pattern, like some type of formula to being an entrepreneur, or?
You just got to have the niche to do it. You have to know how to sell. You have to be a go-getter. You can't be scared to put yourself out there. You have to believe in your brand, because if you don't believe in your brand, then nobody else is going to believe in your brand.
Right.
I truly believe in my brand, what I sell, and everything. So
yeah, that's pretty good. That
you have to have that mindset, because if you don't, then you're not going to be in business long.
Oh, okay, that makes sense too, because like you said, that you want to believe in your brand, and I think that's good.
And I opened up in the middle of the pandemic, like
oh my goodness,
in the middle of the pandemic when it started.
And how was that?
It's been good. I'm still open.
Still open,
if I'm still open, I'm doing something right?
Okay, so that's definitely, but definitely I'm talking to the sales. The sales definitely.
Yeah, the sales is going, and making sure all the bills is paid. You know, everybody has their trials and tribulations, but we make sure it works for us to keep it going, and nothing can stop my niece's legacy and my legacy, my success. Me and my sister, we're gonna do it, because we're not giving up at all.
Right. Okay. And like I said, you said that you can go online, because I know you on the social media, and that's one thing now, is that we do have all of these platforms that we can sell on. It's not just in the store. You can actually go online, and like they can go to different, people can definitely, just look at your stuff in social media, which is really good. Yeah.
Social media gives people a lot of good platforms and stuff.
Right.
But like I said, I'll go out and walk and sell my stuff to people, because you got to have that mindset. You got to sell to anybody. You can't be scared.
Right.
I don't care. I go anywhere. Someone say go here, go there, I'll be there.
Right. So, but you also need to find. I believe that you definitely need to find your audience. Like if you happen to come, like you said, you go someplace and be like, okay, but either they don't wear that type of stuff, or
advertising is the key. definitely. And I do a lot of that, so.
Right.
I do a lot of that.
You do a lot of that. Yeah, and I do believe that as well. A lot, bulk of the money, the funding, has to be financed, and it has to be through.
Yeah, it has to make sense.
Yep, and it has to be through advertisement, because how people are going to know about your business, you know.
Yeah, definitely. You got to put yourself out there, whether it's newspaper, social media, or anything like that. I definitely do all of that stuff, though.
So let's just talk a little bit about what do you think is like some of the good things that's been happening and some of the things that's not so good in your business.
The good things, I could say, you get to meet new people.
Right.
You know, and everybody have different businesses, and you get to share like their business cards if they want to leave their business cards and stuff like that. You get to help them out in that aspect. But then on the flip side of that, some people always want something. Like they want a piece of the pie when they didn't help you get there.
Right.
And then you really have to watch who you be around too, because you never know what their motives is. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why I really like watch and analyze everything that I do when I'm around people. It's not that I don't trust anybody, it's just I've been hurt and burned in the past, so I'm not trying to do that
and you mean
anymore.
by that as what?
When I had other people part of the business, it didn't work out.
Oh, right.
So that's why I just really focus and watch what I do, you know, because I don't want to be in that predicament ever again in my life.
Okay. Now, do you think it's like overwhelming? Because I know even with my business as well, it's like, I got to do this, I got to do that. You know, it can be overwhelming as well.
It can be overwhelming, but I challenge myself every day. Like, I put it on my sleeve. Like, I don't get angry because that's something I love to do. Like, I love to sell. So when I get up, I'll be like, hey, I'm going to the store today. I'll be all happy and bubbly and stuff like that. It's just, that's what I eat, breathe, and everything that I do, it's Neela's Boutique. And when I'm there, that's how you got to be. Because if you're not, it's not going to work, I'm telling you. And I love what I do.
Right, and that's pretty good, because I know I cannot see myself in the store sitting there for hours, be like, oh my goodness.
Because money can't make itself. You know what I mean? That's your brand. You don't want nobody else running your business and probably doing something under the table of your business. When you open up your business, you want to be on hands when it first starts.
Exactly.
And then when you see where you could trust somebody, then you could definitely hire someone where you don't have to be there all the time. But until you know that you're good, you want to know the business. You want to know how it works and ins and outs of everything. Because you don't want nobody being in charge of your stuff.
Right. Right, so you don't have the problem just sitting in the store all day, every day.
Because I don't sit in the store sometimes all day, every day.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll say, hey, I'm doing online sales today, and I'll post it or whatever. And I take sales from home. I could do that because I'm my own boss. I don't have to call nobody and say, well, I ain't coming in today, I'm calling out of work. If I don't want to go in, I'll be on my laptop or computer or whatever I do. I just do it. I get to make my own schedule.
Right.
And I could do whatever I want to say, hey, girl, let's have a lunch date right quick. Put the close sign, say I'm returning at 2 o'clock, and I go out and have some lunch and come back.
I wish I could do that, but unfortunately, I'm still doing the 9 to 5, you know, because I really...
You can. You just got to believe in yourself.
Yeah, you got to believe in yourself.
You have to believe in yourself, and you have to want to do it.
Yeah.
And one day I just went to work. Something happened bad, and I just wasn't happy. And I just was like, I don't have to take this. I'm a business owner. Like, I'm out of here. That's it. And I left and never looked back. And I've been happy ever since.
And you don't regret that?
No, not at all.
Oh, that's good.
Not one bit. Not one bit at all.
Okay, that sounds interesting. Yeah, but it's just me, you know, sometimes you're thinking, okay, I always look in the future, like, okay, I know this has to be paid, you know, you have your bills has to be paid, and sometimes, you know, if business doesn't do well, you know how that works.
Yeah, I definitely know that.
And even though the pandemic, that's one thing I also want to stress too, how many stores has closed during the pandemic. I mean, it's been astronomically difficult for a lot of business owners at this time, because they are definitely just sometimes, the business is closed because of the pandemic.
And they just gave up. Some people give up. They don't believe in themselves no more.
That's what you think it is?
Yeah, some people, yes. Yeah. I really think they just was like, ain't nobody in here. Like, there's times and days where people don't come in for hours at a time at my shop, but I go hard. And if I get one sale a day, I'm happy. I sold something.
I know, right?
You know what I mean? Like, I sold something. So I can't let that get me down, you know? And a lot of people will not support you either. So you just got to be determined to do it yourself. Don't depend on people to just walk into your store and say, to buy, or just because of your friends, your family, or whatever, that they're going to buy, because that's not what it is.
And that's the thing, too. A lot of people open up the stores and then they expect their family to just keep buying.
Yeah, no.
And then sometimes their family is like, okay, I bought once, I'm not going to buy anymore. Then, you know, so you also got to bring yourself out there like, okay, you just can't support, you just can't, like, just depend on your family to buy.
Yeah, no, you got to put yourself out there. You can't be scared.
Right, and that's one good thing too. Like, you did one sale was good for you.
Yeah, because I don't care if it's nickel, quarter, dime. It's something.
It's something, right? So, yeah. At least you know. And it's not just that someone actually bought something in your store. The fact is that someone knows about Neil, you know, your niece.
Yeah, Neil's boutique, and that's all I care about.
Right.
That's at the end of the day, that's all I care about.
And one thing I do realize too, a lot of people that have these businesses, they have a passion. It's always connected to something. You know, like mine, the natural essence is connected to my mom, and that's the same thing. Yours is connected to your niece. So it's like someone either died or something happened to, and you say, you know what, I want a better life for, you know, the next generation and something, and leave a legacy, and that's definitely important.
And we have this big portrait of her. So when we go into the store and we look towards the door, it's right there, and she just smiling at us.
You see?
And that's my motivation, just to keep going and don't give up.
Right. See, and that's good. So you do have that motivation because she's there watching you. She's like, okay, she's actually, and that's really good that she's doing that.
Definitely.
So I do like that as well. Now, has anyone wanted to go? You already said where it's located in that location of Berlin, right?
Yep.
Right. And I did like that location where you have, because it's just like right on the highway. And I did like that you did have a sign out there as well. So you do the promotion and advertisement that way. That is like awesome. Now, what do you plan on doing like for advertisement and anything else that you plan on doing in the future as of, you know, I know you have the line out for this, but anything else that you just thinking about besides the restaurant?
Slides about to come out. And like I said, in the next few years, I'll think about doing the restaurants and things like that.
Right. So but I'm talking about just like for this business, because I also noticed that, you know, I see some photos. You can, you know, some photos that some people had your outfits on.
Oh, yeah. I have a brand ambassador. I have photo shoots. They model my clothes and stuff like that, so we can get our clothes out there more. So when I put it on social media and things like that, people know where to get it from, because our address and stuff is up there.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really nice. And I know you're saying stuff like the purple was her favorite color and stuff like that. So that's also a memory. Is like, okay, you know, people wearing stuff that she really likes. And you have the summer outfits and you have the winter outfits because you go by season, right?
And every time I see something with her logo on, when somebody's wearing it, it just lights me up. Like, I love that.
And that's so passionate that you know, you love your niece so much to do something like that. Now, were you and your niece really close?
Yes, we were very close. Yeah, my whole family is very close though. So.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So you said like babysit her and everything like that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's pretty good. I want to say thank you for coming on the show. I do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so and these are some nice quality outfits that you have here on the table, which is really good. I like that as well, because that's something that when I look into clothing, I definitely like to look into something that is good quality.
Thank you. I
so it's not just that. So that's pretty good. Okay, is there anything else you want to say to be an entrepreneur, like if somebody's out there?
Just be a go-getter. Don't give up on your dreams and just put yourself out there. Don't be afraid. That's it.
Well, thanks again for watching another episode of Charlene's Vision, and we'll see you next time.